May I request our Vice Chancellor, sir, to extend a gesture of welcome by presenting a bouquet and memento to the special guest, Professor Dr. Bindu S. Ronal, Vice Chancellor of MNLU, Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar. May I request Professor Dr. Raka Arya, convener of the conference, to do the honors of presenting a floral token of welcome and memento to Professor Dr. S. Surya Prakash, Vice Chancellor, NLIU Bhopal. May I request, ma'am, to extend a floral welcome to Professor Dr. Sanjay Kumar Yadav, co-convener of the conference. May I request Professor Dr. Birpal Singh, co-convener of the conference, to felicitate Professor Dr. Raka Arya with a floral welcome. Thank you, sir. We are deeply honored to have amongst us Professor Dr. S. Surya Prakash, sir, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of NLIU Bhopal, a visionary academic leader whose guidance and commitment have been instrumental in shaping this institution's journey of excellence. With a distinguished academic career spanning over 30 years, Sir has held esteemed positions including Vice Chancellor of DSNLU Visakhapatnam, Founder Vice Chancellor of MNLU Aurangabad, and Professor of Law at NLIU Bhopal. A prolific scholar, he has authored and edited numerous books and over 35 research articles on critical legal subjects including labor laws, arbitration, mediation, and human rights. His work has significantly contributed to legal academia and policy making, with his research influencing judicial reforms and access to justice initiatives. Professor Surya Prakash has also represented India internationally, studying the US judicial system under the prestigious International Visitor Leadership Program. His dedication to legal education and research continues to inspire generations of law students and professionals. His area of interest includes jurisprudence, ADR, international commercial arbitration, labor laws, health law, and culture and law. May I now invite Sir to kindly deliver the welcome address and formally commence the valedictory session.
Good evening to all. So I would like to invite, before welcoming all the dignitaries on the dais, today we have one activist of this who has been working for the last 3.5 4 decades. Please, sir, Dr. J. Prakash Garu. Beta, please. You give. I would like to welcome you with floral and please, I think, yeah, social activist, I know. You were there in 2010 also, during our program. Acha, this also, wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much.
So the social activist has been working in this area, and all of a sudden I saw him, and I remembered his contribution, and he actively participated when we did this international conference. So thank you, sir. You didn't inform me in advance. So the dignitaries on the dais, Shri Dinesh Kumar Aswalji, the member, National Disaster Management Authority, our guest of honor, Professor K.B.S. Sharma, Vice Chancellor, National University, Assam, and guest of honor, Shri Professor Bindu Ronald, Vice Chancellor, Maharashtra National University, Aurangabad, my friend, my colleague, Professor Sanjay Kumar Yadav, Dean PG and Research, Professor Rakaria, convener of this program, and also Dean, Student Welfare, and many of my colleagues, student friends, participants coming from different institutions. As a welcome to you for this valedictory session. As all good things has to come to an end, and we have successfully completed this international conference on Bhopal gas tragedy or disaster, and I learned that the experts told me there are wonderful presentations today and tomorrow, yesterday, and I really appreciate, and we are looking forward when once you send us the complete papers, we wish to bring a volume of this conference. And my friend Professor Sharma, just we were discussing this Bhopal gas disaster. Speaking on Bhopal gas disaster is like speaking on Ramayana. What he said, it is whosoever says the characters will be the same, the main theme remains the same. And basically, when we reflect how the victims of Bhopal gas disaster, they were betrayed, not only by one institution. So, the Parliament made the Bhopal Gas Leak Processing of Claims Act 1985. It took under the doctrine parents patri, wants to represent the entire Bhopal gas victims, and then came the judiciary, and then the executive, and the Bhopal gas victims, they are betrayed by all institutions. I will tell you because already we are exhausted, and speakers, and you listened. I would like to add one thing. When the issue of extradition of Anderson has come up before the government, so the government sought the legal opinion from the then Attorney General Soli Sorabji, a legal luminary, and in his opinion, he has stated that there was no sufficient evidence to prosecute and to seek extradition of Mr. Anderson to India. So I have gone through that legal opinion. Basically, he said, he expressed a doubt that we do not have sufficient evidence against Warren Anderson. And after 2010, this verdict has come, and there were a lot of agitations in Bhopal and also in many places. And the fury of the public, they started questioning why we didn't extradite Anderson. Then the then Attorney General, as usually government asked, the then Attorney General Ghulam Wahanavati, he expressed his opinion saying that there is plenty of evidence to seek extradition of Warren Anderson, the CEO, the chairman of Bhopal gas disaster. So why I have given this? I have gone through both the opinions, opinion of Soli Saurabhji and also the opinion of Ghulam Wahanavati. Both are legal luminaries, they are experts in law, the facts are the same, the disaster was the same. What is the change? The change was only time. It's only the time. And one legal expert said that there was no sufficient, this is on record, there was no sufficient evidence for the extradition and the legal luminary. So, because of these opinions of the procedural lapses and so many things, as we know that there was a judicial settlement and the settlement was not on the basis of merit. So somehow 40 years passed away and now there are review petitions are filed. We do not know what would be the fate. The purpose of this international conference is that there should be no more Bhopal tragedies. Not only in Bhopal, not only in India, anywhere in the world. Because due to industrialization, there could be industrial accidents. Accidents are due to maybe some failure of some machinery or something not anticipated. Accident is not, which is not anticipated, but not accidents man-made. At least there should not be any man-made accidents of such disasters, and let's hope that industry will take care of not only their workers but also the public in general. I once again express my gratitude to all the participants who has come from different institutions and also friends who has come from abroad, and I hope that you have enjoyed the pleasant stay at Bhopal, and I wish you to see you all again on NLIU campus. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring words of welcome and for your constant encouragement and leadership throughout this international conference. We are privileged to have with us Professor Dr. Raka Arya, the convener of this international conference, a distinguished scholar and academic leader whose dedication and vision have been the driving force behind this event. May I now invite Ma'am to present a brief summary of the conference proceeding, capturing the insights, deliberation, and key takeaways of the past 2 days. Ma'am.
Thank you, Pooja. Thank you so much. I welcome all those who are present in this auditorium. Honorable Dr. Dinesh Aswalji, Professor KVS Samasa, Professor Bindu Ronald, Professor Dr. Sanjay Yadavji on the dais, and of course my colleagues of the dais and all the participants who have come from other parts of the country to make the presentation in this conference. I hope that you all have been able to actually understand and a lot of nuances and issues regarding the disaster that has happened 40 years ago. As I said in the inaugural, the whole objective was that to find out that is still, there are certain ends which are still not tied. Still, there are some loose ends of this disaster. Because I discussed with you that there are two points of views. Some say that 40 years is too long a time, and others say that as far as this particular thing is concerned, that is, the things are over. So we are just thinking that no, still they are there, because Dr. Surbi Sai is with us. And when she made her presentation, so I, of course, left this question to her that, what is the lead for us? Where should we go? Because it was said that the impact is congenital. And it means that generations have to bear the brunt. So is it really a truth, or is it really a myth? So that is the one I think we can understand if it is congenital, because she has presented a chart which shows that it is a truth that is still, it is not solved. So it means there are, and again, as far as the disposal of the toxic waste is concerned, we do know that is still, there have been some issues regarding that, and the state did it, because we cannot keep matters pending like this, and they have to be taken care. But here also issues did arise. So every time there is an issue, there will be a counter issue as well. So since the beginning we have seen, because we have Honorable Justice Pankaj Mithal with us, who is Judge Supreme Court and visitor of the university. He has, of course, raised the moral aspect of this, because he said that the fundamental thing is the moral thing, moral understanding and moral connect with everything. If we don't have, if we are divorced from it, then of course disasters are there going to happen again and again, and the same kind of discussions will go again and again without any solution. So if we have to really, avoid the disasters, we have to take that particular fact into consideration, because disasters are not of one nature. There was a gas leak, then there could be some other form. We cannot say that there is only one form, like sir has mentioned, because when Honorable Vice Chancellor, he made a reference of man-made disaster, we can understand that here man-made and natural disaster, both kind of disasters are there. So generally we are addressing the man-made disaster. And of course, sir very rightly pointed out at the time, when he has said about the human greed and the, we can say, the negligence. And this negligence wasn't like this, that they were not conscious of it, they were conscious of it. And that deliberately they did it. And of course, he has made a reference of saving the electricity charges, and that's why they switched off the electricity. They were not bothered about the human life, it means. So it means there is something also that we need to take into consideration. That was whether corporate should be so profit-driven that they should forget about the human life and the humanity. So this was also a point of consideration, and I think various presenters have covered this particular theme across the, in the thematic sessions that we had in our university in this international conference. Again, if I look at Justice Vivek Agrawal, Honorable Justice Vivek Agrawal, when he was speaking in terms about the solution part, the redressal part, that what it should be done, like the assessment of the compensation in such cases, when such disasters do happen. So I hope, that this particular conference would have been able to answer that particular question or that particular issue, because we have also titled it like lessons for the future. It is not something that we just talk about a particular problem without any solution that anybody can do. So that is why this particular point, I hope once again, would have been covered in the various sessions, because I gathered the report that the sessions are going on, and of course, they were going on, and of course, that's why we got delayed today. So I was very happy that even the chairperson, co-chairperson, they all got involved. So this is something we can really appreciate, because there have been number of papers which are presented, and I think corporate social responsibility was really a particular session that has really taken a time, and I hope this particular session gives us a particular way forward that how needs to be addressed this issue to reconcile the corporate interest and the human aspect of it. Because we have heard this, plenary session in which, of course, they were talking about the corporate responsibility with a particular human right angle to it, and which we know is a very, very fundamental to that. So in all 6 thematic sessions, as we do know, these things have been considered. And as I said last time, that the National Disaster Management Authority, sir is representing that, Dr. Dinesh Aswal is representing NDMA. He's admitted us. And of course, when I met Dr. Rajen Singh there in Delhi, when I discussed about this particular issue, so he was trying to understand that how we are actually thinking in terms of addressing disaster issue. And in which he said that, it is not only like that we just discuss, we should have some, kind of solution and some directions and some recommendations from it. So I think, and because The final presentation of the day was made by Professor Rajeshri, and I think it was really good for us because she also, put a lot of points across when she mentioned that what all steps need to be taken as far as disaster management part is concerned. And of course, she has also emphasized the fact that it should not be the responsibility of only government and the non-government organizations. It should be the duty of civilians and citizens also, that they should also understand their responsibility, which was also said in inaugural session when Honorable Justice Dhagat spoke about that. When he said that if we change, everything will change, the system will change. Because we have a tendency to forget. So this, we should not, carry that particular burden on our shoulder. So I will not be, focusing too much on that as far as the thing is concerned, because I know that we are short of time. So I just want to say that whatever has been done in this particular aspect, the thing was that it was futuristic. It was not something that to be just discussed for the sake of discussion, just to organize a conference. No, it wasn't. And I'm very happy that even we have got responses, because we have heard the international speakers also. Professor Bartolini is here. We heard today Professor Olavi. We have heard Dr. Michelle today. They have spoken about this. We have heard Dr. Anirudh Rajput today. And one speaker, though, we have missed because somehow we have lost link with her. Dr. Jolene Lin was also supposed to join us from Singapore, but somehow we lost the link with her, so she could not join us today. So from all the angles we have covered this particular aspect, international, national, and I think everybody was on the same page as far as the disaster itself was concerned. One, the nature and character of the corporate responsibility, one. Second was its concern about human rights, that whenever they have. Other was that there should be proper measurements, guidelines. There should be a kind of course of action that should be taken. Also, of course, lead was given by judiciary itself, that there should be some kind of expedite, a manner for the purpose of resolving such kind of issues. As far as judiciary itself is concerned, they should go fast, because there was a particular angle that was said that you come to us as soon as you witness some particular disaster. I remember Justice Dhagat has spoken about this. So he has given this particular opportunity to everyone. So whosoever witness it, whosoever is party to it, they should come directly and they should file a particular complaint about that. Now we are living in a technological era. I think we are far more better placed than 1984. Perhaps now, because here, mobile is something, internet is something, digital era is something that makes us to actually deal with this particular catastrophe in a very, very effective manner. So I will not focus on that much now, because that is something that has happened in this. And of course, and I hope that you all have a comfortable stay here. Food was good, and of course, hospitality is also a concern. And I hope that you have been taken good care. Whatever was possible for us, the care would be good. Once again, as far as my thing is concerned, I would like to thank all those who have allowed their names to be used here. NDMA, that is National Disaster Management Authority, is concerned. They were the first one to give us this particular green signal to use their logo, and their collaboration was very much there. They were very much on board. So that's why we are having Dr. Dinesh with us. And then we have approached, NASAR has been very happy to be on our aboard with us. So that's why I would like to, of course, thank NASAR also, Professor Rao, for his readily acceptance for the thing. Then again, I would like to also thank Indian Council of Social Science Research for the purpose, as they have given the sponsorship for us when we have approached them. And they have also granted us that particular financial assistance to us. And then, of course, all the international experts that I have taken name, Professor Bartolini, Dr. Michelle, Professor Olavi, Dr. Jolene, though he could not join us. So I would like to thank, and Dr. Anirudh, I would like to thank. Then again, Dr. Surbi Sahai, she has joined us as this thing, Dr. Rajeshri, Dr. Bindu, all of them. And if I have not taken name of anyone, so kindly please pardon me for that. But I would like to really thank you from my bottom of my heart that you all came and joined us in our endeavor to find solution for the Bhopal gas tragedy. But I will not be, of course, missing my thank to Honorable Chief Minister of the State. Though he promised that he will come, but then with the rider, he said that he may have to go because he is a political figure and a kind of celebrated political figure for Bihar, to Bihar for the political electoral campaign. So he may not make it. So, but he has been kind enough to give us his message. So we will be playing his message. So I would like to thank sir profusely. And I would also like to thank Gunjan, who has brought this message. Thank you, Gunjan. Thank you for so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the comprehensive and thoughtful summary that so beautifully encapsulated the spirit and purpose of this international conference. Though our chief guest, Shri Mohan Yadav, Honorable Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, could not be present with us in person due to unforeseen change in his schedule, he has graciously sent a special message for this occasion. We have received this message from our alumni, Ms. Gunjan Chokse. May I request Sachin to kindly play the recorded message by our Honorable Chief Minister, sir.
मेरे जरूरी कार्यक्रम होने से मैं इसमें शामिल नहीं हो पा रहा हूँ। ये मुझे मन में मलाल है, लेकिन मेरी भावना मैं आप तक पहुंचा रहा हूँ। भोपाल के इस त्रासदी से ये भोपाल उभरा है। खासकर हम सब, मैं उस बात का गवाह हूँ जिस दिन भोपाल गैस त्रासदी हुई, मेरे सहित बहुत सारे लोग उस दिन हमारी एक कार्यकारिणी की बैठक थी। पहले तो समझ ही नहीं पाए कि कोई गैस से इतने सारे लोगों को ऐसे कष्ट कैसे देगी। रात के समय तो हॉस्पिटल भर गए, हाहाकार मचा। लेकिन 2-3 दिन तक जिस प्रकार से रेल में जो स्टेशन मास्टर है वो रेल रोकने के साथ उनने कई लोगों की जान बचाने का काम किया। पूरी दुनिया हिल गई, इतनी भीषण त्रासदी थी ये रेल, खासकर गैस त्रासदी। ऐसे कठिन दौर में भगवान न करे दोबारा ऐसा कोई इतिहास बने, ये संपूर्ण मानवता के लिए बहुत बड़ी चुनौती थी। भोपाल गैस त्रासदी, ये मैं मान के चलता हूँ कि पर्यावरण संरक्षण, औद्योगिक उत्तरदायित्व और मानवीकरण के कई सारे इश्यूओं को, इसको सदियों तक प्रेरणा देने के लिए ये त्रासदी से सबक लिया जा सकता है कि कहीं भी ऐसी भविष्य में कोई चुनौती आए तो हम दोबारा ऐसा कभी काला अध्याय न लिखा जाए मानवता के इतिहास में जो कलंक साबित हो। आज के इस अवसर पर मुझे प्रसन्नता है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट और उच्च न्यायालय के माननीय न्यायाधीशगण, विधि विशेषज्ञ, शोधार्थी, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय प्रतिनिधि, सभी लोग मिलकर के इस संगोष्ठी का हिस्सा बन रहे हैं और वो अपने विचार मंथन से अमृत निकालेंगे, ये मैं शुभकामना व्यक्त करता हूँ। और ये चर्चा निश्चित रूप से न्याय, उत्तरदायित्व, सतत विकास के लिए दूरगामी रूप से सिद्ध होगी। मैं प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर एस सूर्यप्रकाश, कुलपति NLIU भोपाल, डॉक्टर राका, कार्यक्रम समन्वयक को इस प्रेरणादायक पहल के लिए हार्दिक बधाई देता हूं और पुनः इस संपूर्ण सम्मेलन की पूर्ण सफलता की कामना करते हुए अपनी बात को विराम देता हूं। आपको पुनः नमस्कार।
I would like to thank Sir for his inspiring words and for taking out time to share his thoughts with us despite of his demanding schedule. I would also like to thank Gunjan ma'am for coordinating the same. Today, we have with us our special guest, Professor Dr. Bindu S. Ronald, Vice Chancellor of MNLU, Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar, a distinguished academician and leader in legal education. Ma'am brings over 23 years of experience in legal academia and administration. She was previously associated with Symbiosis Law School, Pune, where she served as Professor of Law and Deputy Director for nearly a decade. Her teaching and research expertise spans company law, international trade law, competition law, mergers and acquisitions, marine and shipping law, and contract law. She has also taught as WBNUJS Kolkata, Ma'am has an extensive research portfolio with publications in Scopus and Web of Sciences Index Journal. She has authored volumes of the Manual of Maharashtra Laws and contributed to the Bombay Stamp Act. Her global academic engagement includes presentations and lectures in countries such as Germany, Italy, Sweden, Singapore, Vietnam, and Australia. An active research supervisor and academic leader, Ma'am has guided several PhD scholars and continued to mentor doctoral research. She holds membership in key academic bodies including Board of Studies at Sai University and Symbiosis International Deemed University and the Doctoral Research Committee of MNLU Mumbai. Her past work includes consultancy projects with UNDP, the Tea Board of India, and ITC Limited. Further, reflecting her commitment to bridging legal scholarship with practical policy impact. Ma'am, I now invite you to kindly address the gathering.
A very good evening to one and all who are present here, members on the dais, Shri Dineshji. We also have with us the Vice Chancellor of NLU Assam, Professor KVS Sarma, Professor Surya Prakash, Vice Chancellor NLIU Bhopal, the co-convener, Professor Sanjay ji, the convener of the conference, Professor Rakarya, all the dignitaries who are there off the dais. We have experts who have joined us from various universities. We have national and international experts over here. We have students who have joined us, students, faculties, the paper presenters from various universities who were here. I think I will begin by placing my appreciation to this university for organizing this conference on a subject which is very, very painful and very close to the hearts of the people. But I think that some memories, they cannot be forgotten, but there are lessons that are there which we have to learn from them. The Bhopal gas tragedy remains as one of the world's worst industrial disasters that happened. I think it also marked our tryst with environmental jurisprudence, with mass thought, with corporate accountability, and it also led to key concepts being developed and various laws that were brought about. One tragedy where the loss was enormous. It led to thousands dead, lakhs disabled, and even after 40 years, we are discussing it because justice remains incomplete. In spite of 4 decades, justice somewhere remains incomplete. The settlement that happened between the Union Carbide and the government of India at $470 million has been widely criticized. The question of fair compensation remains far from being actually fair. Many question the court's decision and the corporate accountability. Well, I'd say that how tied our hands are even when death rolled the streets of the city. How effective were those who represented the victims of the disaster? I think the question goes deep. The question goes deep to the spirit of access to justice, on state responsibility, the rights of the victim who fought the battle first with the gas that passed the streets on the fateful night of the 2nd and the 3rd of December, and then a system which could not even quantify the loss that they suffered. How would you quantify the loss of a loved one? I still fail to see, but this is the reality that is there as far as the Bhopal tragedy is concerned. What role does a conference like this play? Can NLIU Bhopal make a difference to what has happened? I think the answer to this is a big yes. Bhopal tragedy is a warning about transnational corporations operating in developing and least developed countries. And it is the law schools like this which can, through conferences, raise concern on corporate due diligence and oversight, regulatory compliances, negligences that are there, the ethical responsibility that is there of multinational corporations. These are multinational corporations which have a set of rules and regulations in their own countries, and they have another set of rules that are there when it comes to, setting up the sweatshops or setting up their factories in countries like India or in other Southeast Asian countries. And there are a number of examples that are there that we see. Today we are talking about globalization, we are talking about liberalization, we are talking about globalized commerce that is there. Bhopal tragedy has lessons to learn from. A disaster like this has shown that the cost that is there, that the city and the people of the city had to face for negligence and weak regulation, it was huge. The tragedy exposed what happens when safety standards are compromised and when regulations are weak, and also when enforcement is absolutely lax. What is the use of laws? I mean, in the sense that there were many laws that were there that came about after the tragedy, but what is the use of laws when they are not implemented? Industrialization without planning, without strong oversight that is there, is definitely a recipe for disaster like what we saw in the past. Has a disaster with a magnitude which can't be fathomed even today been an eye-opener? I doubt that to that extent, because if that was the case, then subsequent disasters would not have happened. We wouldn't have had the gas leak at Visakhapatnam. Industrialization is not confined to few zones. Today, when we look at urbanization, what we also see is that it is interwoven with the urban expansion that is there that happens. Towns and cities that are growing are actually growing around the industrial belt. Residential societies that are there mushroom actually around these industries that are there. I think in one of the paper presentations that was there, it also showed that even in front of the Union Carbide, the factory that where the disaster struck, even today there are people that are staying. Is the state or the city corporation looking at planning that is precautionary? I think it's a question that is there that all of us have to ask, not just us. I think, the state, the town planning, the corporations, they have to ask this question. Is it evidence-based? Is it people-centered? Are we looking merely at profits, or we are also looking beyond that to see how human dignity can be taken care of and how human rights can be looked at? Is zoning followed in any of the cities in this particular country? Are there buffer zones? I think none of this actually applies as far as industrialization is concerned. How stringently are environmental impact assessments actually being done? Too many questions that is there that I have when I look at the Bhopal tragedy 40 years from when it happened. One thing, like many of the previous speakers have also said, that Bhopal disaster has taught that disasters are not always natural disasters. In fact, I think when I look at it, most of the disasters that happen are actually man-made disasters that are there. If you look at the floods, the climate change issues that are there, I think that's also something which is not natural. It is more of man-made disasters that are there. They result from administrative failures, they result from negligence, they result from poor disaster management that is there. A very, very simple thing that is there. Every institution, every place has got fire hydrants that are there in the buildings. Are there disaster management lessons that are taught? Do people know what the fire drills are? In fact, most of us don't even know how the hose works. So, how the fire equipments are to be used in case if there are disasters that happen, many of us are not aware of it because these drills are not actually something which is carried on. Whereas you look at the Western world that is there, and you will see that even the school children are actually aware of what the drills are and what has to be done. Are the people today, even after 40 years, if you look at, are the people aware of things that are there which are happening? Does the city, and not only this city, any city that is there in this particular country, have an emergency response infrastructure that is there? A question that is there that we need to ask. Are there specialized personals that are there who can help in case if there is a disaster? Are we maintaining insurance and liability funds that are there to take care of the public in case of a major disaster or major accidents that are there? We've had a number of laws that were there which were implemented after the Bhopal tragedy. But are we still looking at transparent compliance audits? Is the whistleblower mechanism safe as far as people are concerned, and are corporations and the directors actually accountable? Accountable to the extent that they should be accountable in case if there is a disaster that is there which is caused due to the negligence that is there on their part. Growth and development, environmental degradations, human suffering are realities. One cannot compromise anything at the expense of the other, which means that we have to be future ready and blend growth with ecological sensitivity and development with sustainability that is there. Development without safety is definitely disaster. We speak of right to life. We need to look at right to live in safety, and we also need to look at dignity even in death. True progress lies not in how fast we industrialize, but in how safely or sustainably or responsibly we grow. True progress actually lies in looking at all this. 40 years. I think this is the first time, this is the first time that I'm coming to the city of Bhopal. It's a beautiful city. I found the city to be very beautiful, beautiful lakes that are there around, and there is some kind of a peace that is there. But yet, what I feel is that the air still carries the weight of the tragedy that is there of the night of the 2nd or the 3rd of December 1984. Today, our promise should be, when we are looking at things, our today should be a promise based on the events of the past, to build not on the profits but on integrity and human safety. The memory of Bhopal tragedy should guide us and not actually haunt us of a fear after this 40 years. I think Bhopal should speak to the future. Bhopal should speak to the people of this city. Bhopal should speak to the people of the country, and Bhopal should speak to the world at large. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your reflection on the importance of academic dialogue in shaping responsive legal system. We are also privileged to have with us as special guest Professor Dr. KVS Sharma, Vice Chancellor of NLU, National Law University and Judicial Academy, Assam. Sir previously held the position of Vice Chancellor at MNLU Aurangabad and has served in key administrative roles including Registrar at Nalsar University of Law, Hyderabad. With decades of teaching and experience, he has been integral to the development of several academic programs, including the MBA Law program at Nalsar, a recipient of the Best Teachers Award by the Government of Telangana and the Vishwakavi Rabindranath Tagore Award. His contributions to legal education are widely recognized. He is actively involved with academic governance as a member of the Board of Management of the Assam Administrative Staff College Society and the Judicial Academy Assam, and contributes to the Academic Advisory Committee of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University. His involvement with the UPSC and various research bodies highlights how standing in public service and academic policy making makes a difference. A prolific author and legal expert, Professor Sharma has written several influential legal texts, including Model Law on Insurance in India, Indian Penal Code, Law of Contract Administration and Tenders, and co-edited COVID-19 and the Future of Higher Education in India. He is also a trained arbitrator and mediator. Regularly serves as an external examiner for doctoral thesis and is a sought-after visiting faculty at national level institutions. Enrolled as an advocate since 1983, Professor Sharma continues to be a respected voice in both academic and professional legal circles. Sir, may I request you to address the audience?
Thank you. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Respected Professor Surya Prakash, Honorable Vice Chancellor, NLIU Bhopal, today's President of this particular meeting, respected Dinesh Kumar Aswal, Member, NMDA, National Disasters Management, respected Professor Bindu S. Runald, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Maharashtra National University, Aurangabad, Professor Raka Arya, convener of this particular conference, Professor Sanjeev Kumar Yadav, co-convener of this conference, respected faculty members, respected admin staff of NLIU Bhopal, respected panelists, respected resource persons, and my dear students. First of all, I am thankful and grateful to Professor Surya Prakash for inviting me to this particular conference titled Echoes of Bhopal Tragedy, 4 Decades of Reckoning and Lessons for the Future. In the year 2000, this is the 4th time I think he is conducting on the same topic. First in Bhopal, second in Aurangabad, third in Visakhapatnam, 4th in again Bhopal. 4 times, no one took this much interest, keen interest. I think he can write a big treatise on this Bhopal gas tragedy, like Ramayana or Mahabharata. He will be like Nannayatikana Valmiki or another Vyasa. He will become on Bhopal gas tragedy. Because in 2008 or 10, he invited me first time. Second, third, I did not get invitation. Again, 4th time I got invitation. So I came here. I'm thankful to him for inviting me to this particular conference. Yeah, already I told him it is like Ramayana or Mahabharata. Mahabharata, several movies they took, we saw. Any time, any movie we see, it is interesting, like Ramayana also. Bhopal gas tragedy, everyone will say the same facts, but everyone will tell new point that is interesting. So, again, same thing, on 3rd December 1984, over 5 lakh people in the vicinity of the Union Carbide India Limited pesticides plant in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, India, were exposed to the highly toxic gas methyl isonate in what is considered the world's worst disaster, industrial disaster. World, not India, world's worst industrial disaster it is. And the chain of proximate causes involved in the Bhopal disaster is the failure to insert the safety device, the resulting valve leak, and the chemical reaction. It was the result of multiple failures. It is a man-made disaster, and Professor Surya Prakash said, factories department, first we have to prosecute. If you want to prosecute, first the factories department. Several times leak happened. What factories inspector was doing, what the employees concerned, employees of that particular factory were doing, and they know this seriousness of this particular, what you call, incident in case gas leaks. Even then, we are negligent. There is a movie also we saw on loft thoughts, particularly Aparishit. On that, on loft thoughts, that is anyone who wants to specialize loft thoughts, we have to see that movie. Negligence, we are very, very negligent. Everything we take lightly. Yesterday, Lordship also was telling, our attitude should be changed. Our attitude is so, what you call, light. Anything happens due to shortage or due to defect in electrical wiring, if any person dies, again that person dies, again same thing. That wires will, cable wires and electrical wires will, will swing on the road we walk. We don't complain to electricity department don't take any, similarly covers on manholes. Several people are dying, even then when they are open, we go like that. That is careless attitude of our, so, here we have to remember one person. I think Jayaprakash ji is the best person to tell whether it is true or not. If it is true, we failed. We failed in our duty. I was reading so many materials in Google and YouTube also. Ghulam Dastagiri, the deputy station superintendent at the Bhopal railway station, is widely considered the hero of the Bhopal gas tragedy for saving thousands of lives by evacuating the station and diverting trains. Despite being heavily exposed to the toxic gas himself, he alerted nearby stations to suspend all incoming trains to prevent more casualties. He is credited with bravely and decisively clearing the Gorakhpur-Kanpur express train from the platform before it was scheduled to depart, preventing the lives of his passengers from being lost to the gas. He suffered serious health complications from the gas exposure, eventually died in 2003 from the throat cancer, according to India Today. Actually, in that incident, his son also died, according to sources. And the problem here, after reading the Google and YouTube, I saw 23 on that day, station superintendent was on leave. He was the head of that station. And he supervised, he guided all the workers, and they saved the lives. Today in Bhopal railway station, the names of the heroes they mentioned, 23 names they mentioned, they did not mention Mr. Dastagiri's name. Even today his family, am I correct or not, sir has to tell, he knows everything here. So his name is not mentioned. That's the problem. And he did not get compensation also because he died after several years from the incident. At least he should be given some good award and compensation. Nothing, we did not recognize. I don't know what happened. At least you should try, sir, and you should. And so many organizations are fighting for his recognition. You should also guide NLIU Bhopal, and so that through NLIU Bhopal you can make a recommendation to the government. And some families survived the Bhopal gas tragedy, but the most widely reported is the Kushwa family, who attribute their survival to performing a Vedic ritual known as Agnihotra during the disaster. They were doing Havan, Yagya, and because of the cow dung smoke, even though they consumed this, they did not die. That is the story they mentioned in the Google also. A government affidavit in 2006 stated that the leak caused approximately 5,58,125 injuries, including 38,478 temporary partial injuries and 39,000 severely and permanent disabling injuries. It is like Workmen Compensation Act. Total disablement, partial disablement, again that is classified into two types. Like that they also classified here, temporary and partial. Estimates vary on the death toll, with the official number of immediate deaths being 2,259. Others estimate that 8,000 died within 2 weeks of the incident occurring, and another 8,000 or more died from gas-related diseases. In 2008, the government of MP paid compensation to the family members of victims killed in the gas release and to the injured victims. The owner of the factory, Union Carbide India Limited, was majority owned by the Union Carbide Corporation of the United States, with Indian government-controlled banks and the Indian public holding a 49.1% stake. So Indian government is also responsible for this, along with central government, because almost 50% stake, 51 and 49, that's all difference. Both That company and the government is also responsible for this. In 1989, UCC paid 470 million, equivalent to 1.03 billion in 2024, to settle litigation stemming from the disaster. In 1994, UCC sold its stake in UCIL to Eveready Industries India Limited, which subsequently merged with MacLeod Russell India Limited. Civil and criminal cases filed in the United States against UCC and Warren Anderson, Chief Executive Officer of the UCC at the time of the disaster, were dismissed and redirected to Indian court on multiple occasions between 1986 and 2012, as the US courts focused on UCIL being a standalone entity of India. Actually, cases filed in US, but in case US, they conduct these cases, in Enron cases, similar type of what you call facts. All directors, including CEO, they were convicted within a short time, within 1 or 2 years, and all directors and CEO died in jail only. Because it is India, what happened, we will come to know. Then, what happened, when they arrested the CEO of Anderson, when he came to India, we have to appreciate his guts. Even though he knew that he will be arrested, he would be arrested, he came to India, so we have to appreciate him. He came to India and formality sake, Mr. Arjun Singh, the then Chief Minister, issued notice and the police arrested. Then Mr. Raju, all these are written in the then District Collector. He wrote a book unfolding the betrayal of Bhopal gas tragedy. Moti Singh, the then District Collector, he wrote. And Mr. Arjun Singh also wrote a book, A Grain of Sand in the House Glass of Time. Mr. Arjun Singh, CM, also in these two books they mentioned, these are all not mine, my statements. Both stated that Mr. Arjun Singh informed Rajiv Gandhi he came for election campaign here. Sir, it happened like this, so I issued arrest warrant and we arrested him. Mr. Rajiv Gandhi did not say anything. Then he received a message. Mr. Arjun Singh received a message from his chief secretary. That is Mr. Swara, what you call Mr. Brahma, the then chief secretary informed his Brahma Swarup, chief secretary, the then chief secretary. Sir, I received a call from Union Home Ministries that we have to release Anderson immediately. And the then Union Home Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao, he might have received instructions from Prime Minister, and then Mr. Moti Singh, the then District Collector, last meeting he was here, 2010, he came. He also said, how innocent he is, the District Collector, he should not write all this. When he wrote all this in the book, one person filed a criminal case against him, and his colleague SP also. And later on they got bail and other things, that is a different issue. And he wrote that he himself, along with SP, they took him to airport, they dropped him in the plane, and he went to Delhi. From Delhi he went. So these are the things, that's why here we have to remember one of the scholars, PhD scholar, Senior General Manager of Reliance, he did research on directors' liability. Then how many directors or CEOs were convicted till today in India for violations of these laws? He found that not even a single director convicted in India till today, directors of companies. That's why here we have to remember Lord Bacon's statement, an American judge 200 years back, he made this, law is mighty and money is almighty. Laws are like cobwebs in which small flies are caught and big flies break through, he said. The same principle is applicable. Here we have to apply vicarious liability principle to the central government, state government, union carbide. Along with that, everyone is responsible for this, what you call disaster. And civil and criminal cases were also filed in the District and Sessions Court, Bhopal, India, involving UCC, UCIL and Anderson. In June 2010, 7 Indian nationals who were UCIL employees in 1984, including the former UCIL chairman Keshav Mahindra, were convicted in Bhopal of causing death by negligence and sentenced to 2 years imprisonment and a fine of about $2,000, 2,000 pounds, the maximum punishment allowed by Indian law. All were released on bail shortly after the verdict. They went to appellate court. They got, till today, case is pending. And Anderson, he was born on 29th November 1921. He died on 29th September 2014. Still case is pending against all these in our courts. The Bhopal gas, then central government passed an act, several persons they said, the Bhopal gas leak disaster processing of claims act 1985 to represent our how government can represent, because it is also a party to this. And for that they should form a trust or NGO, then they should. But anyhow it happened. A bench of Chief Justice of India, Justice B.R. Gawai and Justice Vinod Chandran asked the High Court to decide the case on its own merits. Again, in 2010, a fresh case was filed to reopen and ask for for fresh compensation. The apex court clarified that it had not ventured into the merits of the plea. The Supreme Court on Thursday, July 24th, 2025, gave Bhopal gas disaster victims right groups liberty to approach the Madhya Pradesh High Court with their claim that survivors with lasting severe injuries and illness were wrongly classified under temporary disablement and minor injury and undercompensated for years. The Supreme Court asked the High Court to decide the case on its own merits. The apex court clarified that it had not ventured into the merits of the plea. Someone classified that wrongly, they classified all this, they went. We don't have time now to see all this, go to Madhya Pradesh High Court, they said, they went. And the situation is getting worse, not better. We are seeing more and more second and third generation children being born with severe disabilities. Morning we have CSR and disaster, Bhopal disaster we discussed, and we discussed also this issue. In Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, whatever companies are there, 2% of net profits they should spend on for noble Schedule 7 causes. My suggestion, at least 0.5% of every company net profits should be spent for the legal aids of victims of that disaster. Because it is not an accident, bus accident or train accident. Chains, generations together have to suffer. So 0.5% every company which is situated in Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh should allot exclusively for victims of Bhopal disaster, so that we can do some justice. This recommendation also, if you make, the central government may consider. Then, from the beginning, the government has protected the corporations at the cost of human lives. This is the criticism everyone is making. 4 years after the disaster, Union Carbide and Union Carbide India settled with Indian authorities for $470 million in compensation. Everyone says that is a very small sum, and already Professor Surya Prakash and others, they argued, they mentioned this. Respected Fali S. Nariman, a renowned Indian jurist who represented Union Carbide. He is supposed to represent victims, but he represented Union Carbide. Later expressed regret for his involvement. Indira Jaising and Prashant Bhushan, who represented victims and the victims' families. They represented victims' families. And despite the legal settlement, many victims felt that the compensation was a fraction of what they deserved and was not distributed effectively by the government. US lawyers filed compensation suits, substantial cut as fees for themselves only. The Supreme Court has rejected a plea seeking more compensation for victims of the 1984 Bhopal gas disaster. In 2010, again central government filed an application to reopen. Then Supreme Court said, no, whatever compensation was, that is sufficient. Justice, I think, 7-judge bench. The court said that the issue could not be raked up 3 decades after the settlement. Dow Chemicals, which brought Union Carbide in 1999, said that a settlement agreed upon in 1989 was fair and final. Senior advocate Harish Salve, he argued for the management here. And advocates Sanjay Parikh, representing victims of the tragedy. So I thank you one and all. Namaskar to all of you. Thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for your thoughtful address. It is our privilege to welcome Professor Dr. Dinesh Kumar Aswal, member of the National Disaster Management Authority and a distinguished professional dedicated to disaster preparedness, response, and resilience. Sir is serving as Secretary NDMA. He is a distinguished officer who led Indian Coast Guard as its Director General from 2006.
No, so that is not my CV. Okay, yeah, so very good afternoon to all the dignitaries on the dais and my colleagues sitting over there. You see, this, as the professor has already said, what we are talking again is the same thing, narrating same thing. And if you have seen what has changed after these 40 years, that is what we should focus on. Morning, Madam Raka was saying that human dignity is the very important part. We are 1.5 billion people and human dignity of each and every is very, very important. Now, if I take you back to the 40 years, our dignity was at stake. We are taken as a cockroaches. Somebody comes, put an industry here, say that do this and that is how the Bhopal gas happened. It would never happened if this company, same company was in anywhere in the other part of the world, in the developed nation. Reason is that our dignity was always at stake. Now, as Professor was saying that how the fellow was escorted out of the country. And in this country, if you want to, not any problem to be solved, put it into the judiciary. It will keep on spiraling for years and years and years. But look what has happened in 40 years' time. We are the #1 chemical manufacturer of the world. तालियां तो बजाओ यार. For the entire world, we provide generic medicines produced in India. We are increasing the health of the common people. कोई घटना आई भोपाल के बाद में ऐसी हमारी बड़ी सी. Vaccine came, everybody is, then Bhopal gas was nothing when the Corona COVID came. Our people stood up and we prepared the vaccine in the lowest time and not only we survived and we gave it to the entire world. तालियां तो बजाओ ना यार, सो रहे हो बैठ करके. Many things has happened. And nowadays everybody is talking environment. Do you know who brought this environment concept in the international forum? आपको नहीं पता होगा. Environment was always there. It was the first time Homi Jahangir Bhabha, who was our nuclear father of India, when we started making a nuclear reactor in the country, developed nation says, it's a very dangerous, you can't do this, you should not do that. Homi Bhabha Jahangir said, nothing going, we are going to make it. Then they started questioning up. With the radiation leaks, then what will happen? So it was the Homi Jahangir Bhabha, he said, we make a reactor, we'll have our exclusion zone, and that exclusion zone will be monitoring 24/7 radiation in and around. Kya problem hai? So we adopted that. So each of our nuclear reactor is surrounded by a exclusion zone where nobody lives, except we scientists. Don't say that we don't live there, we work there. And they are surrounded by our sensor monitoring 24/7. In the 7 decades of our experiment, not a single incident has ever happened. Reason? We were scientifically visioned and we know what to do. Now, in 1971, Madam Indira Gandhi went to United Nations and she narrated this, how our nuclear reactor keeping our environment very clean. And for the first time, the environment was coined in the United Nations in 1971. तो इतनी तारीफ मिली मैडम को कि वापस आने के बाद में उन्होंने बोला कि हमारा डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एनवायरमेंटल गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के अंदर होगा. And that was built. So we were the first in the world to make the Department of Environment in the country. तालियां बजाओ ना भाई यार, काय को सोते हो बैठ करके. And then later Rajiv Gandhi, he made Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change. So ये हमारी अपनी originality है. So India nuclear reactor में #1, nobody can beat us in our safety regulations. Post Bhopal, we learned lot. And that consequently we are the #1 chemical producer in the world. Then we have gone further ahead. अब क्या होता है? I say the human dignity is very important. Prior to 1980s, our human dignity was because हमारे पैसे नहीं था. Of our age, we were standing in the ration queues. और राशन क्यू में जितना चावल उतना उसमें कंकड़ पत्थर मिलाता था. पिताजी जाके बोलते बेटा पहले तो साफ करो इसका अलग से. So that was our life. And now you see, पिज्जा बर्गर से कोई कम खाता नहीं है. So we have grown up in our stature. Now we have become more power in technological. When we have got money, we can do anything. अब किसी ने पहलगाम कर दिया, हमने घर के घुस के मार डाला. If somebody does this today in our country, we will not tolerate that. So that is what I changed now. So human dignity is also related with the human pride. And rather than lingering on a certain topic again and again and again, feeling ourselves weak, feeling ourselves this, and we have been cheating, we should not do that now. We should that what lesson we have learned, how we have gone forward, what we have done, and how we are going to do further. So after environment was built in the country, we also developed the National Disaster Management Authority in the country. In 2005, we brought an act. ध्यान रखो, हर चीज के लिए पैसा चाहिए होता है. सरकार के पास पैसा नहीं, आप कुछ काम नहीं कर सकते हैं. पैसा है तो आप सब कुछ कर सकते हैं. So NDMA was brought in. Any kind of disaster that need to be looked into, चाहे वो natural हो, चाहे वो man-made हो. We created NDRF, National Disaster Response, and you see that NDRF is so popular in the world. कहीं भी earthquake होता है, we are the first to go. तालियां बजाओ ना भाई उनके लिए यार. They work so much for your country. Then we said that okay, NDMA national level ठीक है, हर state का एक SDRF होना चाहिए. So we make the SDRF. This is not enough. We should also have the district level DDRF. And district magistrate and district collector is the chief of that. बनने से कुछ नहीं होता है. You have to make a disaster management plan for your district. Now when you are making a disaster management plan for your districts, obviously your buildings, your everything is coming. I don't know whether this has got built your disaster management plan or not. So if you have not made your disaster management plan, lecture बाजी करने से कुछ नहीं होता है. Please make your disaster management plan, give it to district collector. So if every organization, every house gives a district magistrate their DM plan to district magistrate, he knows where are the problems. Not only that, आपने कभी सुना है आपदा मित्र? आपदा मित्र, and this country is full of voluntary people. आपदा मित्र is a voluntary scheme who works like an NDRF, whom we provide a training for 15 days, and 1 लाख लोग आज के दिन में आपदा मित्र हैं जो सेल्फ. जैसे अभी बाढ़ आ गई थी पंजाब में बाढ़ आ गई थी, जब तक NDRF जाए उससे पहले आपदा मित्र घुस गए वहां बैठ करके. So can we do that? किसी को रुका नहीं हमने. So एक 1.5 बिलियन पॉपुलेशन में 150 करोड़ में 1 ही लाख लोग हैं हमारे पास में ऐसे भी. So please come forward, learn yourself, say make sure आप रोना रोकर बैठेगी पुरानी कहानी पे. So let us do what we can do further. Then अगर डिसास्टर मैनेजमेंट के लिए now we are talking about the early warning systems. ध्यान रखो 5 साल पहले साइक्लोन आता था उड़ीसा कोस्ट पे और हजारों लोग मरते थे. लास्ट 3 साल से क्या एक भी आदमी मरा आज तक? 0 डेथ हो गई हमारी. रीजन इज वी हैव बिल्ट ए अर्ली वार्निंग सिस्टम. हमारा जो IMD है वो प्रिडिक्शन देता है, साइक्लोन का प्रिडिक्शन देता है. एंड व्हेन वी नो वेयर द साइक्लोन इज कमिंग अप, वी इवैक्यूएट देम. उनके लिए शेल्टर है, उनके लिए खाना है, उनके लिए खाना है. और कैन यू बिलीव दैट फॉर लास्ट ईयर देयर इज a 0 डेथ. So that is what we are doing. Now we have got the Mausam mission. You might have heard of the Government of India's program, Mausam mission, where we are looking for a more accurate prediction, database. आपके सिग्नल आएंगे, आप बता देंगे कैसे प्रिडिक्शन करेंगे. So if you see the predictions of our weather forecasting has gone much better. So again, it is a technology. So we have to get away from the emotions. We should go towards the scientific based information, how to predict that, how to put that, and nowadays artificial intelligence is there. And fortunately I was among the many of the lawyer family also discussing that. उनको भी लगता है कि let us not, जो इस country का problem रहा है कि हम लोग bifurcate हो गए हैं पहले से ही, बायोलॉजी वाला हो गया, साइंस वाला हो गया, सोशल साइंस वाला हो गया, ये हो गया, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता, ब्रेन सबका एक जैसा ही होता है. So please amalgamate them, okay, and find out the best of the solutions. Now, in my opinion, the country needs the serious law reforms. अंग्रेजी लिखाने के where as and comma करके आदमी समझ में नहीं आता क्या हो रहा है. So we need to a simplified law where the common person can understand. Okay, the young generation judges are very, very good. Okay, so the next, there has to be reforms everywhere. So what, since I have to catch my flight and I can't take much time, but let me tell you, the final conclusion is that अब भोपाल गैस पे उनकी आत्माओं को शांति मिले जिन्होंने दुख झेला है, but वो condition हमारी ऐसी थी कि we were at everybody's mercy. Now 40 years have passed, we have grown strength by strength. Our scientific community has done a wonderful job. Technology has done a wonderful job. The politicians per se, they have done a very wonderful job. Everybody is growing up. So let us think how to lead. And by 2047, Honorable Prime Minister is saying that we should become a developed nation. What does that developed nation means? We need industries. Without industry, we will not survive at all. हमारी जो न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी की जो साइट है जहाँ से यूरेनियम माइनिंग करते हैं, I will tell you, they were in one of the remotest area, जादूगुड़ा, बीहड़ नक्सल एरिया के अंदर, वहाँ हम लोगों ने माइनिंग करी. आज देखो वो पूरे शहर बन गए हैं. Okay, so environment protection is important, health is important, but again remember, if you weigh together, 1947 में हमारी average age was 47 years. Today, what is our age? Almost close to 70. And there are a large number of people, they are about 90. तो चीजें बड़ी हैं. So we should be very optimistic. We should look where are the positive angles, how we can strengthen them in terms of the laws, in terms of science, in the technology. And जो Gen Z है, जिसके आजकल हर बार बात करता है, let us not give them a pessimistic domain. Make them optimistic. We are young country, we have got lot to do. 2047 हमको developed nation बनना है और हम जरूर बनेंगे. Thank you very much.
My apologies for the wrong, resume. Thank you, sir. It was an honor to hear from an outstanding scientist, an architect of Aswal model, and developer of critical technology for India's nuclear program. Sir, through his research, multifaceted career, Sir has consistently bridged science, technology, policy, and society, making impactful contributions to India's safety, sustainability, and scientific leadership on the global stage. May I now invite the co-convener of the conference, Professor Dr. Sanjay Kumar Yadav, Dean Postgraduate Studies and co-convener of the conference, to propose the vote of thanks and express our collective gratitude to all those who made the international conference a success.
Thank you, Dr. Pooja. Good evening, everyone. It is my honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing committee at the valedictory session of this two-day international conference. The first edition of the Bhopal Case Study Conference was organized under the leadership of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Surya Prakash sir, in the year 2009 to mark the completion of 25 years of the tragedy. And I don't know about the earlier edition. Now, as we observe 40 years since the disaster, the baton has been gracefully passed to Professor Dr. Arya ma'am, and who has successfully organized the second edition of this conference. At the outset, I send our heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Honorable Chief Minister, State of Madhya Pradesh, Dr. Mohan Yadav ji, for his message and sharing his valuable insight. We sincerely wish and pray that we may blessed by his kind presence, wisdom and guidance in the future. I also take this opportunity to extend our thanks to our guest of honor, Professor Dr. Dinesh Kumar Aswal, member NDMA, and our special guest, Professor Dr. Bindu S. Ronald, Vice Chancellor, MNLU Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar, and Professor Dr. KVS Sharma ji, Vice Chancellor, NLU Assam, for gracing this valedictory session and sharing their inspiring word. We are deeply thankful to our distinguished speaker, panelists, and delegate from India and abroad for contributing their expertise and perspective on multifaceted issues surrounding industrial disaster, environmental justice, and public health governance. Our sincere appreciation goes to National Disaster Management Authority, NDMA, the Indian Council of Social Science Research, ICSSR, and Nalsar University of Law, Hyderabad, for their collaboration and unwavering support in making this academic endeavor a grand success. We also owe a special debt of gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor S. Suryaprakash sir, for his constant guidance, motivation, and support throughout the organization of this conference. I also extend my sincere thanks to all the member of administrative staff for their dedicated efforts in coordinating various aspects of the event. My heartfelt thanks also go to the technical support team for ensuring the smooth conduct of each session one. Last but not the least, this conference would not have been possible without the dedication, hard work, and teamwork of every member of the organizing committee and the student volunteer. A very big thank to all from the bottom of my heart. Please, all of you stand and give a round of applause to all the member of the organizing committee and the student volunteer one. Thank you all. Without your support, not possible to organize the competition conference of this stature. A big thank you all. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
I request everyone to please remain standing for the national anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you. With that, the valedictory ceremony of the international conference comes to the close. I request everyone to please join for the high tea. Thank you.